ever since the Batman moved to 2022, and since we started seeing trailers for a different movie, something else has become my number one movie of the year. And I went to see it this weekend. Very excited. It was my number one movie of the year. And it was Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Yeah.
My most hyped movie of the year. So,
by the way, I want to put a pin in something you said about the Batman. We'll bring that up after this segment, but I wanted to ask you something
yes.
about it. So we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
But,
so
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Space
Say I saw sometimes I get previews of your thoughts on things because social media.
Oh, yes.
But I'll say after seeing some of your previewed thoughts, I watched the trailer for this for the first time. Actually, I never even seen a trailer. So anyway, I'll let you say your thoughts on it. So, but I just have a little taste of this from the trailer I saw.
All right. So, and I really enjoyed the trailers. To me, those elevated my excitement. So, Space Jam was my most hyped movie because for me, you know, we've had a lot of great cartoon characters, you know. But for me, of all the cartoon characters, at the top of the hill, there is the Looney Tunes. Some people may say Mickey Mouse, some the Simpsons, some the Flintstones or Scooby-Doo. And I just want to pat him on the hat and say, that's adorable that you think that. But at the top of the hill, make no mistake, there's the Looney Tunes, which I am joking, by the way, if people like those, except for Mickey Mouse, which I'm joking. I'm just kidding, Disney fans. But yeah, so for me, I love the Looney Tunes. For me, look, I like the original Space Jam. It's a nice movie. It's what were the Looney Tunes doing in the 90s between Tiny Toons and Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries and Animaniacs. You know, it's a nice movie. It's a nice little premise. Born actually out of Nike commercials for Michael Jordan's shoes, where he co-starred in them with Bugs Bunny.
Oh.
So I was excited. At first, I was like, I don't know. I kind of liked how in Looney Tunes Back in Action, they switched up genres. Like it went from a basketball movie to a spy movie. And honestly, as nice of a ideas of it as it is of combining animation and live action, none of them have gotten to the greatness level of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Right.
But I was excited for it because I was like, you know what? The past 10 years, we've gotten some great Looney Tunes stuff on TV. Right now, we have a great TV show on HBO Max, which perfectly updates those characters. And I was excited. I saw the trailers, and I went in so hyped. This was my number one movie of the year. And there's no other way to say it. It's terrible. It is one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. It is a train wreck. It is that awful. So let's start with the positives first. So positives is that I love the hand-drawn animation they did in the film. I think it looks great. I really prefer that over the CGI animation because it's a drawing come to life. That is cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I was actually going to point out about. Like, I didn't understand the point of having them CGI'd at all. It didn't seem like it
really no
improved
narrative
on
purpose.
anything. Yeah,
but I love that. Also, as usual, they had Jeff Bergman, Eric Bauza, and Bob Bergen reprising their roles as Looney Tunes. And once, as usual, they're great, just like they are on the TV shows. Jeff Bergman has my favorite audition story.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wait, who does he voice?
He voices Bugs in this movie. Bugs Bunny.
Oh. I recently saw like an interview with Eric Bauza, and I thought that he always I had gotten the sense that he always did Bugs Bunny. But,
well, every time there's a new project, they audition actors. He's only been Bugs Bunny for the the current HBO Max show.
I got it. Okay.
Which he's great in there as well. And this one, he was Daffy and Porky.
Got it. Okay.
So Jeff, he auditioned for Tiny Toons as Bugs and Daffy and all that. And what he did was he took recordings of himself and recordings of Mel Blanc, the original, played them for the people auditioning, and they couldn't tell who was who.
Oh, that's cool.
That is so awesome. So yes.
That's a flex.
Oh yes, the animation, voice acting, top notch. And that was it for this movie. And this movie was nothing but a 2-hour commercial for LeBron James trying to launch an acting career. And it shows he shouldn't launch an acting career because he's not a good actor. And basically just Warner Brothers IP. Like, hey, look at all that. See those characters in the background? Go sign up for HBO Max so you can see all their fun.
Yeah.
Like, here's 3 different Jokers. Go sign up for HBO Max. Here's Pennywise. Here's the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my impression. In the trailer, there's even like Iron Giant, and I was just like, this is a lot. Like, it just felt like they're trying to make a cinematic universe out of
it felt like
properties. Yeah.
some, I can say this because they're not going to own Warner Brothers anymore. It felt like AT&T executives, who go out of business school and make decisions based on charts and graphs and said, look at Marvel Studios. Remember how much success they had when they put all their Marvel characters together? Well, logically, then if we put all the Warner Brothers characters together from Batman to Scooby-Doo to Bugs Bunny, it should make $1 trillion.
Yeah.
It was just, it was awful. The story between LeBron and his son, which I had a little hope for because compared to the live action Tom and Jerry, it felt a little more real according to the trailers, but it's cliche, boring, uninteresting, and very poorly executed.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle's villain character is far more annoying and uninteresting than anything else. In the original Space Jam, it's an animated character voiced by Danny DeVito, but in here we see Don Cheadle and it's just uninteresting.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing that really got me upset was despite the Looney Tunes being hyped as co-stars, Bugs Bunny has a smaller role in this film than Spider-Man did in Captain America Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a story in the original Space Jam, because I rewatched it afterwards, and man, this movie made that one so much better. But in the original one, they cut back and forth between the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan before they kind of cross over.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it's all LeBron James for the first half hour, and there's never a moment where it's just the Looney Tunes by themselves.
Yeah.
And there's a storyline with Bugs that felt like it was intended to be the heart of the movie, but less than 4 minutes of the movie's actually spent on it.
Yeah.
And all the funny gags are shown in the trailer, and it leaves the movie not funny at all. I gotta say, it felt like the writers of the film didn't understand what makes the Looney Tunes characters work and thought that, just throw some mindless slapstick. That's good enough. And it's just, there's more to it than that. It's like, to compare, there's, and I did like this show. It's like comparing the new Looney Tunes show they did in 2015 to the current show, where it felt like in the 2015 show, it felt a little more like, just do some kind of mindless slapstick.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of an intelligence missing compared to the current HBO Max show.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Like, they both have similar premises. They both have slapstick and all that, but there's something about the HBO Max show that's more intelligent than
I understand things having this indescribable intelligence quality, which by the way, you'll disagree with this, but a show that I believe the first season had this like intelligence that's just kind of hard to see at first, that I swear is the first, maybe even first 2 seasons of SpongeBob. Which I know you don't like, but I was rewatching it recently.
I don't even remember the first seasons.
But yeah, it's not. I think from the outside there could be an impression that it's just this kind of like these annoying characters that just kind
Yeah.
of yell and do fun stuff. And in the first season, there's just this intelligence. It's like it feels like a classic cartoon to me, like Looney Tunes-esque, where there's just this intelligence that, yes, there's this silly stuff going on, but there's this indescribable just quality to it that just makes it really special and feel smarter and
Yeah.
enjoyable as an adult. Uh, so I understand that kind of thing in cartoons. That's something that very, very easily is missing uh, uh, when things just become formulaic or whatever. When you're on
Yeah.
season 25 or something.
Oh, yes. And now, if you know this show, this is an insult for me to say this. It felt very similar to the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths, where instead of spending time on plot, most screen time was wasted on pointless and unnecessary references and appearances from other Warner Brothers properties. Like, there's a scene where they LeBron and Bugs have to go get Daffy and Porky, who are on a train, and gets rescued by Superman, which you should be like, oh, Superman, cool. And then a bunch of Justice League pops up. But it's like, there's no narrative purpose. Why are we wasting screen time on this? So by then it was, and then when they got Yosemite Sam in Casablanca land and Granny in Matrix land, it's like, what is this? Like, that was where I checked out. I was like, this movie is just, it's nothing but commercial for HBO Max. So, and you know, 6 writers worked on this. Like, the only time I actually laughed in the theater was because of how bad a line was where I don't know if it's a spoiler, but who cares anymore? There's a scene where they're kind of like in a video game, basketball game, and LeBron tells his son who he's playing against, because that makes sense, but whatever. Nothing about this movie makes sense. But they're playing, and then the son switches teams because whatever, it's his dad, I guess. And he is going to do a move that his son, the video game inventor, which again, cliche storyline, the video game inventor did for a character, but deleted the character. And he said, Dad, my video game character got deleted when you did that. And he said, in a performance only LeBron could give because it sucked, was, but son, I'm not a video game character. I was just like, wow, 6 writers.
Good line.
Yeah. That is brilliant writing right there. Such pathos I felt.
Wow.
So yeah, I hated this movie. I didn't just dislike, I hated. I was so upset leaving the theater. Like, I was like, this is a piece of garbage. It's crap. I was so upset. It is by far the worst movie of the year. One of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. And I guarantee you, and when we do our 2029 special, looking back at the decade, Space Jam and New Legacy will be on there for one of the worst movies of the decade. It's that awful.
Yeah, wow.
I hated it so much. I don't think I've hated a movie this much since Toy Story 4. But if you want to see new Looney Tunes, go watch the great new show on HBO Max that I constantly reference. Do not waste your time on this piece of garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's my review for Space Jam, A Crappier Legacy.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have high hopes for it. It wasn't super on my radar because I don't know. I didn't expect. It seemed like something that maybe they're only doing because Space Jam was getting a little bit of a new liking, and so I didn't have much. It really felt
like they were like, they looked at social media and were like, oh, people are tweeting about Space Jam, oh, let's do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was kind of cynical about it to begin with, I think. But yeah, I am. It does suck to hear that it sucked.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would love for the Looney Tunes to have great success at their original home on the big screen, reality is most people now think of them as TV stars. Just, you know, the original audience who saw them in theaters are dying off now, but
yeah,
most people think of them as TV stars now. So I guess it's more important that the TV show is better and is by far superior.
Yeah.